you can still change your life and the world. I'm saying that because I received a message that I published last year on this date, on October the 16th, that said, you can change your life and world, meaning that that is why you are alive. Your life is supposed to be magnificent and brilliant. And if you keep changing, that means you're moving to your authentic self. And so you're becoming really magnificent. You're putting a new energy into the world. And then so you're changing the world. But I'm also going to explain to you why I used the title of this video. Because 2 years ago, I wrote an article that's on my website. You can read it there. And it has a lot of information in it because I did a lot of research because I wanted to be able to explain things. But the article is called "The Big Lie Could Make Our Transition More Challenging." And so I'm speaking about the transitions that we're moving through in our world, and especially in the United States. And that's why I was talking about the big lie. But see, that has happened many times before throughout our history. We move through transitions in our world, in our civilizations, but they may seem a little destructive and crazy, but I know that's not what's going on because you're here to make it better. And you make it better when you become your authentic self, which means you move to a higher state of understanding, which means a higher state of consciousness. Consciousness is all we have. And as humanity, we keep changing it, and it keeps changing to make something better. But we have to let go of the old stuff first, and that doesn't always happen because we're afraid of the new. We're afraid to go into something that we have not become comfortable with. And then sometimes we will stay right where we are, even though it's miserable, because we know it. That has gone on throughout history as well. And we will look at certain things in our lives or in the world and we think we can't change anything. Everything is just going to hell. That's not going, we can't change that. And that's our limitations. That's what we have been taught. But then you come to understand, wait a minute, there's a new way because we have consciousness. No one controls my consciousness. I can do anything. But not if you haven't learned how to control your consciousness, not if you haven't been told something else. And that's why if you believe something else that wasn't true, that could be a big lie for you. But the biggest lie could be that you think you are not that powerful, that you think you can't do something, that you can't change anything. And so you look at the world and everything that's going on, you say, I can't do anything about that. And I'm saying, yes, you can. But now I'm going to read this article, this message to you because it was a Wilhelm message. And I can say this pretty clearly now because Wilhelm has given me everything that can change someone's life and cause you to heal and become happy, successful. And if more people did that, that's why the world would change as well. Believing that is something that is challenging because it was challenging for me. Even though I'm receiving this information in for more than 35 years, 36 now, and it's healed everything that were things that were impossible. But I will tell you that, and you just won't believe it. Because, see, we all have cognitive dissonance, which I've spoken of often. That means we'll look at something and we'll be presented something and say it's not true because we've been told something else and we keep believing that. And so then when you look at the world and you look at all these other people who are believing something that you don't, you want, how did that happen? Your human brain decided to believe something and you're having a difficult time believing something new. But see, evolution causes us to believe in something new, to believe that we can change something from what was before in our lives and also in our civilization because we're the only ones creating it. We're the only ones creating our lives and the world. It's just that it takes a while to believe it. And it when you understand consciousness and time and space and all of that, this gets a little confusing because I always received the information beforehand because that's who I turned out to be. That was my life. And I'll read you that message and you'll get exactly what I'm talking about. You can change your life and world. They are not separate. As you view them both today, the message we provided 3 years ago will make sense, and its implementation into your life and world will only depend on your belief. No one has ever controlled you, but you have allowed yourself to be controlled. We are speaking to each of you for your purpose and intention in living a physical life experience was so you might experience that dominion over things material of which you were taught. Because you are an external, eternal being, you do not accomplish this all at once. We know the references to other lives may be challenging. We keep speaking about your world's current restructuring because you wanted to be here to aid your evolvement. You each are doing that for your reasons personally, and all of them are necessary and valid. The part you have trouble with is they are all correct for each of you. Without contrast, you would not come to know yourself or evolve. We had Roger study centuries of history to understand that this is the process humanity uses to evolve. It will make sense when you contemplate that sentence over the next few weeks. You can blame others, the government, the pandemic, or others of your current state of affairs, but that is not empowerment and is not why you chose to live. Each of you will find that for yourselves. And now we can let Roger say, now I will be successful. His example will inspire you, and you will be fine. That message from 2020 was one that most people probably wouldn't have understood because at that time we were really moving through the pandemic and that's what we were focused on. But Wilhelm had given me all the information saying, nope, you're moving through something else. You're moving through a restructuring, as they called it. And so that means that we're trying to build a new world. But see, it becomes challenging because we're still not letting go of the old one. And the old one is all the ideologies, all the beliefs, all the restrictions, all the limitations, all the judgments, all the hatred, all the anger, all that stuff that has held back not only us individually, but our society, our civilizations. And so I was the test, you see, because I had to go through all of that. Now I'm going to be 74. I'm saying, wow, what happens when you let go of all of those things, you start to heal. And then you become really clear. You see things in a new way. That's a higher sense or higher awareness. That's a higher state of consciousness. But then you have to understand, as that message said, you're going to have contrast. We always do throughout history, meaning we're going to see people doing things we don't agree with. We don't like that. And that's just, but then we come down to understanding science. And that's where the real magic comes in. And that's what I discovered. Because see, I healed everything by understanding the science of how things work. And oh, I had things that were within me and my consciousness that were causing me to be ill and sick and depressed and not love myself. That was taught to me. I learned that over the generations and all those people who taught me that. And so I'm supposed to change that now. And that is happens in my consciousness. But I'll tell you, it takes a while. See, I couldn't put that out. I couldn't talk about that particular message before because most people wouldn't have understood it. But you look at your life in the world today, and especially the United States, and you'll see what's happening. So the reason that it's so chaotic in the United States, or so active, let's say, is because of planetary changes, and we are affected. We're only starting to understand this. That's all the studying I've been doing. And I've put up several videos, and you can just devour my YouTube channel and you'll get so many of them because I had to know. I research everything. And the articles on my website will give you a lot more as well. But this is also the information that I'm going to be speaking about on my channeling session, which is going to be on the full moon on Thursday, but also on Saturday, I'll be doing the Gaia conference, channeling conference. And I'd love for you to see that because Wilhelm will bring through more information. It's not me. I connect to higher consciousness. This is why when I meet with someone, you don't have any problems to me. I see where you're going. It's harder to do it for myself, but I know it's the same thing because I've been doing this for so long. And I know that once you start to understand yourself, love yourself, and accept who you are, no matter what, you heal and you live a really great life. And so that's what I'm finishing. And I'm saying that because we stop ourselves at times. I did that because it was kind of shocking for me what I had accomplished. And I want to see other people shock themselves because that's the only way our world evolves. There was a really interesting thing. We had a conversation this morning, and I'm going to give you this one because there was someone we were having a group meeting this morning, and someone said that she was having some difficulty with some religious things that were coming up. And she goes, I'm thinking I'm supposed to, I don't know, I'm having a conflict. And what I said was, oh, good. Because any structure that has existed that has caused you to question, then you're supposed to answer it in some way, meaning you have something that could make that institution, that belief, whatever it is, a little bit better. But you have to give yourself permission to believe that you're the one who can do it. See, I couldn't give myself permission to say, wait a minute, I received all this information. But then the universe took care of that because I will no longer be able to hide. I'm saying this because that's all we ever do, because as a human, you have all the ability, talent, skills of any other person. But your consciousness has not accepted that you could do that. That's all that it is. I didn't accept it for myself. So, but I got found. So when I told people this, they didn't understand because they're really excited about me going to Gaia. I said, I didn't get there. Meaning nobody knows how I got there. They found me. And that's what I want for you. Because when you start owning yourself, when you start becoming willing to be visible, then people will find you and your life will change. And then you will help change the world because you'll be happy and successful and in love with yourself. That is the work that I have, and is what I know you can accomplish. And that's what I'm spending the rest of my life doing. And because I'm writing a bunch more books and putting out some smaller things as well. But now to have my life say I have done something, and I'm saying this now because I know it's going to come out this weekend. But when I'm leaving the world, we don't live forever, so I know at some point I'll leave this body. But when I'm leaving this world is a philosophy that says every single person born has worth and value, and all they have to do is uncover, and they live this great life, and then they will help change the world as long as they're on this earth. And I know that is true because there's no exceptions for that, just the exceptions we might make in our minds. And I made many of them over my life, but now I understand and know the truth, and I want you to have it as well. If this is your first time here, please subscribe, share, and share this with others. And I will leave the links to the events that are coming up and some other interviews that will probably help you as well. And you can check out my program. It is here. And if you do it, it'll change your life and you will transcend to a higher state of understanding of who you are and become happy. That's what happens. See you soon.